Welcome to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I am your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside Her Majesty, I think is your new title. We did have the episode on the news. Randy probably doesn't even know this.
Yeah.
But we're kind of a big deal now.
We are not.
Local celebrities now.
Is there a crown somewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
Was I supposed to bring one?
We were on 21 Alive, which is our ABC affiliate. Ironically, it's the same one that I was a weekend fill-in guy way back in the day. But they did a little story on us.
And they just called us. It was their thing. This is not what we came up
We
with.
need to make sure we say this, and
Yes.
especially with Ryan in here as well, who I would consider the first family of pickleball.
I don't know about that.
They took our whole family and they basically exalted us to this position of
Pickleball royalty was their word.
I think we're going to get a lot of crap from a lot of our friends.
We deserve it.
Yeah,
we deserve it.
But it wasn't something that we gave ourselves. It wasn't a self-given title.
Right.
Anyway, we have guests here, and we're
We
talking
do.
about ourselves. How freaking rude. I'm sorry.
How royalty is that?
Yeah. But we are really excited about this episode. You can see we're back in the studio, those of you that are watching on YouTube, and we have two guests. Not one, but two. First of all, veteran of the show, Ryan Keirns. This is now your third time.
Closer to that jacket.
That's right. That's right. We talk about that.
Don't you have a famous son named Foster?
I do.
He does.
He's the talent of the family.
That's right. So welcome back, Ryan. And those of you that do not know the man on my left, if you do not know the name Randy Coleman, I guarantee you know somebody who does. It's like 6 degrees of separation. If you are a pickleball person, you know at least one person who knows Randy Coleman. So what do you think?
Absolutely.
I don't.
You know about that?
There's like 20 degrees of separation in my height from most people. I know that. I meet a lot of people and they're like, "Yeah, you're much shorter in person." I embrace that.
TV does that, right?
TV.
Right.
Yeah, it's not me. It's the camera right now
Yeah.
we're not on that makes me look shorter right next to you.
So Randy, welcome.
Thank you.
To the show.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you on.
I like the nostalgia here. You have all the, I like the music. I come from a musical family. My son is an acoustic musician, and so it's a big passion. So
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Are you musical yourself?
Let's not really talk about that. I play by ear. I play piano by ear.
Do you?
Played guitar in high school and stuff, but I'm not going to say that I'm a musician at all. I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's still really
Lot of
talented
family.
that you can play the piano by ear, though. I
It
mean, that's
well,
pretty
you
good.
said it's chords. It's all just chord base. It's 1, 3. I mean, it just everything you just So
okay.
anyway,
I'll go home and do
Right,
it then.
chord
yeah.
base.
yeah, duh,
So-
duh. Yeah.
So
when I'm in the shower playing the piano, it sounds really good.
Same.
Yeah.
so Randy is, and you're going to learn this throughout this episode, super fun guy. And to get started, Randy's like, it's 12 o'clock
Is
somewhere.
Is it?
right?
It is, Ryan. Yeah, my craft beer friend over here.
And so you bought,
and all these times. Yeah.
you brought drinks for us.
I may have.
Okay.
Yeah, there may be some new Belgium products with me at the moment, and we're gonna partake. And it's
Well-
okay that we're having fun. Mom juice. Is that what?
Mom
Mom
water.
juice. What's it called?
Yeah, mom water.
Mom water.
Mom water.
Yeah. So
that sounds better.
Randy, you're actually
Yeah.
sponsored, and we'll get into several of the companies you're sponsored by, but one of them is New Belgium, right?
Yeah, and I'll correct that. I am what I call and what they like to call a brand ambassador. So, brand awareness. I work alongside New Belgium logo, advertising on my truck. They're a great company that love pickleball, and we got hooked up together. So I give a lot of free Belgium products and drinks and swag wherever I go. So yeah, we'll give you some swag. So we'll start off with, they rebranded their what has been historical, their product called Fat Tire.
Yep, I've had Fat Tire before.
Yeah. So Fat Tire doesn't look like Fat Tire anymore. It's a rebrand, and it's very, very smooth. So we're gonna start that off. We're gonna let you have right out of the can.
Nice.
Ryan, I'm gonna give you a choice. Did you want to? Yeah.
I'll
Are you
take-
saying
I'll
now
take
you
it.
want to try
I mean,
some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll taste it.
She's adventurous.
Yeah.
Well, I have 2, so let's slide one over.
There you go.
And Ryan, I'm going to let you choose. So for those of you that don't know, Ryan Keirns is a craft beer connoisseur. I mean, I thought I loved craft beer.
Connoisseur.
Snob. He's a snob.
Same thing.
So on the app Untapped, you have how many? 2,000 something?
Over 2,000 unique beers in the last
Check-in. If
10
anybody
years,
knows
yeah.
Untapped, he has over 2,000 check-ins.
Holy cow.
I tried keeping up with this, and it's very time-consuming.
Wow.
So we have a couple of beers here, and I'm going to let you choose, even though I might sway you one direction or the other. So
those that are listening, these look like wine bottles.
Yeah.
But this is actually
listening,
beer.
and those of you that are watching, these came straight from New Belgium. Actually in Asheville, North Carolina. So my son lives in Asheville. I go visit there. They have a brand new brewery, and these came straight out of their cooler. You're not going to find these at a lot of places, but this is actually a sour. So I'll let
I'm
you.
going to go with the other one.
I'm more the fruity beer
But
guy.
it's so yeah. Sours are kind of a different palate that you kind of, it's an acquired taste, so to speak, a little bit like an IPA. I also have a rye aged barrel wild ale that is 11%.
Oh gosh.
That would be my first pick, but I also don't turn down free beers.
So
If that's 11%, we're gonna
11%.
get some good stuff out of Ryan
yeah,
by
Right.
the end of this
the
episode.
sour is around 5.5, but this guy, Ryan, I'll let you get our pint glasses ready there.
Which one's your favorite, or Randy?
Beer?
No,
Or-
or of these two.
Of these two, oh, definitely. So, I appreciate all types of craft beers, and actually in Asheville. So New Belgium started in Fort Collins.
Yep.
They now have a brand new brewery in Asheville, North Carolina. There's more breweries in Asheville, North Carolina than there are people, I think. But although I appreciate all types of beer, I am absolutely a Belgian strong ale fan.
Nice.
And a sour ale fan as well. But yeah, anything Belgian strong, and you can look, I just love the color. It's like so exciting. It's not as exciting as pickleball, which is partly why we're here, right?
Right. Partly.
You're doing a great job pouring it.
Right.
Well, there's actually
That's really good.
actually a myth to that as well.
I'll just stay with that.
What's that? Yeah.
The 11%.
Yeah. So yeah, there is a little bit of a myth to pouring as well. So you want to, like, it looks really pretty when you pour. You know what? Let's just finish this off here. It looks real pretty when you pour it, where when you finish it, you don't have much of a head right at the top, and then
Right.
everybody's like, "Oh wow, you're a professional." But actually, if you pour it where the carbonation actually comes out more, it doesn't actually go into your gut and make you feel bloated.
Nice.
So there actually is a more professional way to pour beer, which I'm not going to do and embarrass myself, but you can actually turn the can upside down, and then as it's inside, pull it up, and it actually lets all that carbonation out, doesn't fill your gut, and you still get to enjoy the beer, which is exactly what we need to do right now, is do
Beautiful.
a toast, a cheers.
Cheers.
I'll throw in
To episode 38.
episode 38. Here's to episode 38, and I'll add an additional Asian flavor to it. Kampai. So, cheers.
Kampai.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
You know,
Free beer is awesome.
That's good.
Yep.
first time I think.
Oh,
we've-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you
I-
go.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right, girl.
That's a step.
yeah.
It's an acquired taste, they say. So
Well, thanks again for
Yeah.
for
thanks for
Letting
bringing
me
beer. I
come
mean,
and-
I think this
Yeah,
is a new
absolutely.
standard.
Yeah.
Anytime we have guests on the show, now they need to bring us free beer.
That is
There you
very
go.
fair.
Yeah.
Eddie-
Can I say I like it because it doesn't taste super beery though?
yeah.
Beery.
Like when I think of beer, I just think of like
You're saying the Fat Tire doesn't?
right. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
Fat Tire is
It's
good.
not. I mean, my beer experience is probably like Bud Light
Yeah.
Right.
and all of those
That's-
just very like.
I think if you tried some of Matt's like wheat beers,
Right.
that would be
Yeah.
But she-
that would be a
but she
little.
has.
That's the
Yeah.
mild.
well.
She
That's
has.
the problem. It's very limited though because I don't eat gluten. So
Ah,
that
that
is true.
obviously is a problem.
yeah.
So I'm gonna make an. I assume this has gluten. I'm gonna make an exception.
Let's just
That's
not
all right.
look into it too
Yeah.
much. But anyway, I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Well, I'm already excited about this episode, and I think it's only going to get better as I continue to drink my beer.
And then we're playing pickleball tonight, so that's going to be really fun.
Yeah, that's going to be.
And then we're going to Ryan's house and having beer.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
You should show us how you pour at Ryan's house.
Yes.
There you go.
Let's do
Yeah,
that.
it'll be messy.
Do it outside.
but
That way you get trial and error, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. So, Randy, we're going to get into your story a little bit, but let me just start by saying, in a different life, I would say I want to come back as Randy Coleman.
You do. I know that.
Because you live, and I'm sure it's not all glitz and glamour, but
Is it?
from the outside, it sure looks like it, because you literally are a pickleball nomad. You were telling us you don't even have a home that you live in. So
I
just
don't.
give us like a brief overview of your life at this point.
I don't think I've ever done anything brief, but I will absolutely do my best. So you want to come back as an old gray-haired guy? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this sport accidentally in 2015, in the summer of 2015, believe it or not, in West Texas, in the middle of nowhere. And went back to visit. I was living in Florida at the time. Went back to visit my father. He was going through some hip rehab, and I was building some stuff in his house. And there's a friend of mine. We always go to the park, and we play a sport called Kadima, or smash ball. It's the two wooden paddles.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan,
Okay.
yeah. So two old wooden paddles with a little dead ball, and you just go to the park and you play, or you go play
Like
on
the
beach.
beach. I was going to say
it's definitely a beach game.
Yeah.
I play games anywhere I go, so those paddles are always with me everywhere we travel. But me and my buddy would just go to the park in Lubbock, Texas. We'd play golf, we play volleyball, everything. But one thing we like to do is just play Kadima.
Yeah.
And I happen to just think, man, there's got to be better paddles than this. There has to be nowadays better paddles. So we had finished playing, and I pick up my phone and I look up smash ball paddles, Kadima paddles, and the very first image that comes up, like it does in our phones, was pickleball. Like it was a pickleball paddle. And
Really?
I'm like, I'm looking at it going, what on earth is that? End up searching pickleball paddles, Lubbock, Texas. There was an Academy Sports that actually had them in stock. It was Wilson. Let's not give too much love
You had the
there.
physical store down there, the Academy?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
really?
they're in that area. So
Okay.
they're still in Oklahoma. They closed a lot of stores, but they're still in certain markets.
Yeah, I've ordered a few things online, more
Yeah.
like sports
Camping
clothing and stuff
okay.
like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I paid $100 each for a paddle. I bought 2 paddles just so my friend could play, and we went to the park and played smash ball with pickleball paddles.
Really?
Yeah, like I wasn't playing. I just wanted the paddles,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, I need to at least. We're looking like, what is this sport? So I went ahead and got a can of balls. There was balls back then.
Okay.
And I want to say they were Duras at the time. It's been
Straight to the top.
but there was only one option, and it was in a can.
Wow.
But
like a tennis.
yeah,
can.
a little, yeah. And so we just look it up, and we're at the park now in Lubbock, Texas, on a tennis court, trying to just hit this plastic ball, and we're looking online. The very first images that came up back then for video was the era of Sarah Ansberry and Christine McGrath, actually.
Yeah.
So that was the very first video that popped up, was Sarah Ansberry, and she was lean and fit. She had all these tattoos, and they're playing this, and I'm going, how on earth do I not know this sport?
Really?
I play every sport and look up every sport, but I didn't know. So we just start playing on the tennis court. I go back to Florida. Very first thing I do is places to play pickleball in Gainesville, Florida.
Nice.
And I found a place 30 miles away. And
30 miles.
30
in Florida.
miles. In Florida.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I go, I drive, I show up. Now I'm looking online, just when they play or whatever. They were playing on a tennis court. They loosen the net and lower it.
Yeah.
So they were playing pickleball actually on a tennis court, and then they, made it smaller and taped it, but playing over the net. And then I found places to play in Daytona Beach Shores, which was an hour and a half from me, from where I lived.
Wow.
So I was driving, and this all happened very quick. Like within weeks, I'm in of getting back, I'm a regular in Daytona Beach, Florida.
So you were hooked right away.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly.
I said that's it. That's pickleball right
Instantly.
there.
It's
So,
like, yeah.
Were you? I mean, so back at this time though, did you have a job? I mean, what? How could you drive an hour and a half? I'm just thinking logistically.
Details.
I want details.
Yeah.
I want details.
Learning more about somebody. Yeah, details. I'm an ex-police officer.
Okay.
And at the time, I was actually working privately as an estate manager for a family in Florida, in South Florida. And I had just finished a gig with them for their family for a number of years. And the last family member ended up finally dying. He passed away. I got a severance from the family. And my son was headed to UF with his girlfriend, to go to school. And I said, well, I'll just go get a house in Florida and you can stay with me. You can live with me while you're going to school. So I didn't work for a couple of years in Florida. Didn't have to. So I played a lot of pickleball. But yeah, that's how that worked. I was 50.
Yeah. I read on your website something about leaving a career or whatever. And I wanted to ask you what that was. So that's interesting.
Yeah. I worked, So in Palm Beach down in South Florida, there's a lot of families obviously that have money. And they don't necessarily, you have to kind of get within a circle to even get an application to, even get in front of a family to apply for a job, because it's kind of a very quiet, you got to keep things on the hush.
Yeah,
they don't want people to know their stuff. And, so there's a lot of trust that's involved with that. But, got the job with them and worked for them down in Palm Beach. Traveled around. I make sure, just like I do now, I'm the logistics guy. I make sure everything's done. The plumber's done, the housekeeper's where she's supposed to be, the cook's doing what they're supposed to do. Everything's fixed, working, and just manage, just keep everything going. And then when you travel, so they would travel overseas, and I'd travel with them and make sure, everything's in place. So you got to make all the reservations. You show up. Yeah.
Is that what Carpenter does for you guys? He goes ahead to make sure your properties are just fine.
I mean, those detail-oriented people, I admire that, because I don't have that in me.
Really?
And so, I love it when people have that skill.
Yeah.
I mean, it served you well. So that's great.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm the youngest of 5. I don't know if it was, it's a curse or a gift or whatever, but yeah, I'm extremely organized, and always have been. I'm the youngest of 5. I could tell when I would come home from school, even as a small kid, and I could tell my mom had dusted in my room because things weren't quite where they were supposed to be.
That's hilarious.
That
is not. We have 5 kids as well. That is not our last point.
She's a clown show.
Yeah.
But that's so great. I truly love it when people have that skill. I admire that in people.
Well, it also will keep you single very easily, too. So I'll tell you that right now.
There's pros and cons, right?
Yep, there's pros and cons. It works. It works. You can read all about it, like I say, in my book coming out this summer called Strategically Single. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
I say that
so
every
great.
season, though.
That is
so
so
when
great.
I talk to people, it's
My
book this fall, my
That's
book this
coming out.
winter. Yeah.
That's great.
I do love that in 2015, when pickleball was not nearly as accessible, you were that hooked that quickly, because that's
instant.
I mean, now you can understand it's a little easier for people to get hooked on pickleball,
right, because all their friends are doing it.
It's more accessible, and there's more courts.
But man, I mean, that's dedication, and it must have sparked something in you.
Well, I mean, even think about this. In 2015, and this was in, I'm going to say September.
Okay.
So in September, in Daytona Beach Shores, which you've heard of Pictona in Florida?
Absolutely. We've been there.
So, south of that, about 10 miles or so, is Daytona Beach Shores.
Okay.
There were 8 dedicated pickleball courts in 2015.
No way.
On the beach. Across the street, right off US 1, or what they call Ocean Avenue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I show up at this place, and I'm like, what on earth?
Awesome.
This is the cool... And I'm watching these players, and I'm watching them play, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, they're so good. And actually, one of them, you may not know his name. His name was Henry Warnarto. He ran Clear One. So that place where... I can't say his name because he cracks me up in all the funny ways. But there's a badminton facility. There's an entity in pickleball that Anyway, but but Hendry ran the badminton at Clear One in Orlando. So he's an Olympian on an international level from Indonesia playing pickleball. I mean, his shots were fantastic. He was the top player at that time. And then fast forward a year from there, and I mean, we're playing together. We're all playing together and having a great time. And the way their courts worked is which still works to this day. So I still advocate, because everywhere I go, I travel all over the country, and everywhere I go, either somebody has no system to their courts and how they're managed, and it's just kind of a free-for-all, or there's a lot of controversy, and none of the good players want to go play there, and they all go look for private play. But they had incorporated a challenge court. And if you do that right out of the gate, and it's not to exclude other people, because as you improve in your game,
it's something to shoot for.
You can come in and challenge. So it gives you something to shoot for. So they had 8 courts. One of those courts was dedicated. That was the challenge court, and the 5-0 court. And if you wanted to go and play on that court, you can. You go put 2 paddles in, and as soon as that game finished, you and whoever partner you want to, you play the winner of who just came off that court.
So winner stay. They don't
winner
split.
stay.
Yeah.
You stay, and you're going to come and play us. We're happy to play with you, and we're going to play one game, and then.
So you could stay on that course for hours, keep on challenging.
And they
can
go
we
away.
do this? Can we do this, Ryan, at IT and Lions Park?
I don't know. Yeah,
We should
I'll
try.
let you figure. I don't
Lions a
know.
little small. It might work at IT.
IT
with
would work.
8 courts.
No, your indoor wouldn't work, but it absolutely would. But they set the precedent right out of the gate. So even if you have resistance, right? If you just have consistency with a formula or a plan, people eventually they just accept. But that one actually works. And it's, none of this like everybody gets a participation award thing. You want to play. That's great.
That's great.
Play the best.
In Vegas.
We did that in Vegas.
Sunset Park has the same thing.
Oh, fun
It
place.
was super fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you meet Steve Cole out there?
I don't know if we did.
No?
We met a ton of people. That was
Okay.
about a year ago we were out there, actually.
Nice.
That was fun.
Yeah, Steve teaches on the roof at the plaza. There's
okay.
pickleball courts on the roof there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was one of my old senior partners. But
That's
give it a
awesome.
little shout out love there to Steve Cole. Don't poke the bear. That's what we always said with Steve.
That's great. Well, we have
Anyway.
to go back to Vegas, apparently.
Absolutely.
So
sure.
let's
I'm
do
in.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so Randy, we do have a ton of stuff to get to. And
I know, right?
At
Oh
this,
my goodness,
at this
yeah.
rate, this might be a
We're gonna be here till
4-hour
midnight.
episode.
Let's
so,
do it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I love it. Yeah. How much beer did you bring?
Randy's got another beer.
Right.
We
So-
get a runner. We
but-
get a food. We get a beer runner.
So let's go back to so you kind of told us how you got started into it. Tell us what you're doing now. And again, I'll ask you as briefly as you can.
Yes.
But
Good luck
we'll-
with that.
Yeah.
I am a contract player for Gamma.
Okay.
So I'm a senior pro, but I also do, a lot of social media. It's also about brand awareness. And then, everywhere I go, I'm always looking for the business development side of things and the networking side of things with Gamma. I'm also a contract player for Jigsaw Health. Da-da. Oh, by the way,
Product
hold
placement.
that hat right there.
Yeah.
You guys can't see this at home. That is hot off the. Can you even say hot off the press and
Sure.
clothes?
Sure.
That is hot off the press. You're not going to find that unless you're actually in Arizona, probably Scottsdale, where they're from. But
That's awesome.
that's
Beautiful
a
hat.
gift for you guys.
Well, thank you.
One of you, I think somebody's already claimed it.
Abby claimed the water bottle. I'll give that to her.
Get the water
I love
bottle.
the hat. I'll be
Yeah.
wearing the hat.
So
Yeah.
I have kind of become known as I don't know. Everywhere I go, I either wear an "It's Fun to Feel Good" shirt and a Gamma hat, or I'll wear a
Vice versa.
vice versa. And I throw in some New Belgium stuff as well. So Jigsaw Health is another partner of mine. New Belgium is a brand awareness. We have a relationship, so just for giveaways and things like that. Also Lotto. I do the same thing with Lotto. Working with them, getting product in the hands. There's a big push right now here in the U.S. It's an Italian company, right? But a big push right now to get kind of known in the in the pickleball world. They love pickleball. So
awesome.
Partnering with them.
I think I've seen them in soccer. Are they quite?
Oh yeah,
heavily
yeah.
involved in
Soccer, padel.
Okay.
Yeah, big in padel. Pickleballtrips.com. I just came back from 3 months in Asia and Japan.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Rough life. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
said
rough.
I want to come back as Randy.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. We're doing pickleball tours through Daniel Moore and John Moore.
Nice.
And I work as one of the instructors and
How
bring
fun.
a little fun flavor to things as we travel. Yep, you can. I'm telling you, we have karaoke on the bus as we travel around. That happens.
That is
Yes,
awesome. I bet it's a hoot.
There's videos.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we may or may not have sang Neil Diamond and
Sweet Caroline.
and some other
Gotta
things.
go. Yeah.
So yeah, there's several people I have relationships with, and all in the name of pickleball.
That's awesome.
And growing pickleball on an organic level as well. And what I mean by that, there's, whether it's good or bad, a lot of things that are going on in pickleball right now. Everybody, it's like a money grab, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's trying to attach themselves to something. They come in, they're they know everything. They're just trying to create, and it's great for the sport, right? So
and they come up with a podcast, right?
and then they come up with a podcast, and
We're still trying to figure out how to make any money on it.
I
but
mean,
yeah.
we need a sponsor.
No, and a lot of it is absolutely fantastic. I always say, what is your core motive? When people are doing things, what's your core motive for doing what you're doing it? Are you doing it in the sake of the organic side of something good, or are you just trying to make a buck on something? So there's a lot of that going on. And interestingly, when I came into the sport, sold my house in 2017, my job was getting in the way. And when I say I had an easy job, I had a very easy job. I ended up, after Florida, I moved to Houston for 2 years. I took the same family talked me into coming back to work for their aunt. Her who was taking care of their property in a big way, had retired after 45 years.
Wow.
And I went in and took a position in Houston. So I had a really easy job. However, it was getting in the way of pickleball because she didn't appreciate pickleball at all.
Really?
And so I would leave a little bit early on Friday, and I would drive from Houston, Texas every weekend to Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Which is where Steve Kuhn was living.
Sure.
So I was playing pickleball with Steve Kuhn and another big, group.
Yeah.
In 2017.
Wow.
And it started getting in the way, and she didn't want me to leave at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Even
on
though
a
you had all
Friday.
your ducks in a row. And
Everything was done. She's in Dallas.
Yeah.
She's not even there.
She-
You're just sitting there.
Right.
And I'm like, I really appreciate this opportunity, but I'm gonna go figure out how to make a living in pickleball. Thank you.
And
So
Steve Kuhn is Mr. Major League Pickleball, by the way.
yeah, I did a name drop there of Steve Kuhn in Austin, Texas. Of course, fast forwarding now, he is the inspiration and mind behind Major League Pickleball, and all things, Dreamland, team event, the rally scoring. It all came from Steve Kuhn. But anyway, I left my job in 2017, went on the road, and the whole point of what I'm saying right now is the organic side of pickleball. In 2018, when I'm on the road January 1, I actually had a contract with Selkirk Sport and went on the road full time for pickleball. Had no idea. I was just playing. I was a senior pro and just just making my way across the country playing tournaments because I could. And as I would travel, I'm single on purpose, quote unquote. We got to make sure we always put that in.
Yeah.
And everywhere I would stop, I always sit at a bar because I'm just by myself. It's easier. And then instantly what would happen, I'm sitting next to Matt at the bar and and then I take a drink, and then Matt says, well, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, okay, well, let me show you. So I instantly pull up my phone and I would pull up pickleball. So in 2018, everybody would look at it and go, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen it. All the way through 2018.
Yeah.
In 2019, I'm doing the same thing. And then people would say, just, the percentages of it happening, people would say, oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
My parents play that. My grandparents play that.
Right.
I've seen that, and I'm talking to bartenders. They're a different demographic, usually a lot younger.
Yeah.
The beginning of 2020, before the world shut down,
Right.
as I'm traveling, almost everybody, oh, I love that. We have one in our neighborhood. We're playing. So I could see the climb of just pickleball just expanding and growing on its own, what I still call organically, right? It didn't have all these monetization attachments
Right.
of greed and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying everything is attached to greed by any means whatsoever, but it was totally different, and it was almost innocent back then, right? It was me coming into a sport where we already had legends like Yoda Friedenberg, who Mark Friedenberg is his name, Steve Peranto. These are all guys that have been playing since the 80s. Jennifer Lucore, who's a 17-time national champion with Alex Hamner. And Jennifer and I played all of pretty much 2019 together.
Wow.
But there were names that you say those names today, nobody knows. Nobody knows. No, they don't really know pickleball. They know of pickleball, but they don't know the history and all of this stuff. So it's really been interesting for me to see the entire growth of pickleball and then COVID happens. Even though Parks, I was in South Carolina when COVID happened. I was very fortunate. Somebody took care of me for 3 months. Can you imagine living with me for 3 months?
I cannot.
Really? I just gave you free gifts.
I know it sounds so wonderful.
Yeah, sure. Sure. We drank a lot. We were doing like live streams and on how to different drink recipes. We were doing cooking
You were making
shows.
movies.
I was making dumb Tom Cruise movies and IPS. With International Parcel Service, Jigsaw, with Mel Gibson.
I saw your your newscast.
Yeah, I still like that. So that's a takeoff.
That's a funny one.
Well, yeah, it's probably. I mean, I think if we get more people involved, it's. I grew up on Saturday Night Live and Chevy Chase Weekend Update here, and so the dry, the straight face humor. That's really what I grew up on. And all of those people who I was making fun of, whether it's Dan Gingrich and his caterpillar eyebrows, or Wes Gabrielson and his size 15 shoe. Yeah. Wes Gabrielson, if you don't know, legend in the game. They all knew, I made sure, ahead of time, hey, I'm poking fun, and it was all good. But yeah, those were fun times, and now it's a whole new era. Now we're back open, and we got tremendous fun podcasts, and love what you're doing, and happy to share with it all. So appreciate you guys again.
Yeah. Do you go ahead?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you feel? I mean, there's obviously been you were like on the ground floor as you saw the organic, and then do you feel like it was after COVID really that it exploded? Like, or when do you feel like it really? I don't know, turned into... Well,
you did say you kind of saw that in 2020 right before COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you think COVID affected it? Would we be at this point had COVID not happened, or would it be even further along?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I think in my opinion, there's two phases to the boom of what happened with pickleball, and I'm going to give a shout out to another friend because of the tournaments that actually... The influx of tournaments that started, happening with Melissa McCurley. Mm-hmm. So Melissa McCurley now lives in Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Pickleballtournaments.com.
Pickleballtournaments.com. So she was at the head of pickleballtournaments.com. It was the tournaments and the tournaments around the country. Like I mean, I'm trying to think of the number of tournaments that you could actually go and play. So people, because of pickleballtournaments.com, were going out and actively competing against other people. And I think it was that initial push in the beginning to be able to go and play a sport. You know, I was 50 years old, so I'm a washed up. I quit playing tennis when I was 45. I grew up playing tennis all into college. We won't say how long I went to college because it was a year, and I was sick of that.
I thought you were going to say 7.
No, I'm not. I figure things out real quick. I don't want to be there anymore, whether it's a wife or a college. And
One and done. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it gave me an opportunity, and that was my very first thought. Even though I was watching these people at Daytona Beach, you know, playing at this level, and then moving to Houston, I'm thinking I can beat all of these people. Like, that was my first. This gave me a new reason to compete again. So that was exciting, and that's what it did for a lot of people.
100%. I agree with
for
that.
sure.
Yep.
They.
For sure.
It was this drive to compete.
Yep.
It's in us. It's innate, and you know, that's really also what pushed it. Again, what I say organically was this influx of a tournament schedule and traveling around, and I can beat him, and I can beat him, and then there's kind of a dividing line. So there was a lot of people on the West Coast that never seemed to go past Dallas or the mid. Even there were very few tournaments in Dallas at that time, and then there was the East Coast people, and then we had our one national championship, which was taking place in Arizona, and then we had the U.S. Open. So that was your push. That was my push. I'm going to compete and do whatever I can to qualify in the regionals, travel and play the regionals so that I can get the golden ticket, which they had, and play in California. You know, which is where, actually, my very first one was in Arizona.
Right, Arizona,
Yeah. And in Casa Grande. And then also go to the U.S. Open. So that's really all we had. But I had a reason to go and, for me, be something, you know, again. So that happened. And then, you know, my last nationals was 2019. And I was supposed to play the U.S. Open in 2020. I was going to play the over-under with Michelle Esquivel, and a week before I got COVID. And
You got COVID.
a week before the U.S. Open, I got COVID, so I had to make an announcement, and you know, I couldn't play, and that was actually one of my last tournaments. And then COVID happened, and it just inspired a whole different, you know, gamut of different things.
To kind of say what you were saying, I think COVID then accelerated the increase. I think it was it was on the upswing, but then
there was a gradual.
COVID, I mean, you couldn't go to the gym to play basketball. You couldn't, you know, go on the soccer field and play soccer. People were stuck at home on their driveways in the middle of their street, and then I think it even took off.
And initially, even the parks were shutting. They were locking their gates and stuff. They were not in South Carolina. There was finally one point, because we were still playing every week. We were playing in South Carolina, even all through COVID. And then finally we went to go to the park, and there was a lock on them. Like, what? Like, and this is way into COVID. Wow. But
we have locks on our parks too.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Ours
playing
locked
at that
down.
point.
Yeah. Lions
So
was
funny.
locked. And
Really?
IT, I think.
Well, not our neighborhood though.
Yeah,
That's where
our
you were
neighborhood,
playing.
yeah.
Was in our
But I
neighborhood.
couldn't even. I had a lot of roots in Florida at that time. Still in 19. Like, I have a lot of contacts in Florida. I couldn't even get into Florida. Like the state was like you couldn't even travel into the state. But it's
wow.
What do you think the first thing I did when Florida opened up? Man, I was
You were there.
right in instantly.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
went in
funny.
and so
Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We're 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
Randy, you're
I
so
know,
easy to
I
talk
know.
to.
This is so fun.
This is great. But let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll get into some more stuff as well.
stay tuned.
Parents, your teen driver or soon-to-be driver looks to you for guidance on safe driving techniques.
Drive Alive is an organization dedicated to young driver safety. Visit our website at drivealiveindiana.org to view videos designed to facilitate conversations between parents and their teen drivers.
Topics include getting to know your vehicle, understanding car insurance, simple car maintenance, and what to do if you just had an accident.
Visit drivealiveindiana.org to learn more. All right, welcome back to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. So we have two guests here again today, Randy Coleman and Ryan Keirns. And Ryan, I want to go to you because I want to continue talking with Randy, but talk about your connection. One reason we wanted to have you on here was not just because we appreciate your knowledge and insight, and we haven't had you on in a while, but also because you have been helping out yourself and especially your son with MLP. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've known Randy for a few years, and we were talking last summer, and he mentioned that, hey, Boxcar Productions, a company that Randy's co-founder of, was bidding for the one in Columbus last October, and he said there's a good chance we might be able to get it. If we do, we're going to have all these extra cameras beyond what we normally do for replays, etc., and we might need somebody to run a camera. And my son Foster, who's a direct admit to IU's media school,
Awesome.
Loves videos, video editing.
Let's do mention at the time this kid is 17. Is he still?
He's 18 now.
So 17 years old he
That's
was.
amazing.
What an opportunity for him, though.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Awesome.
So got a text from Randy that they got it. We had plans that weekend after all, and the initial text said something about, well, maybe scoreboard, and I told Emily, I said, I don't know if Foster's going to give up his fall break to run scoreboard for pickleball, and then got talking, and Randy said, well, we have this TriCaster system. We had a phone call, put Foster on speakerphone, and Foster's like, yeah, that's the system I've run. And Randy's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, understanding.
Really?
So, yeah. The other half of Boxcar Productions is Kyle Salenko. So, yeah, Kyle is the engineer. He actually is an engineer. So, I'm telling him, like, I think I've got some extra people. There's a friend of mine that's in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and his son is in media and high school and stuff. He's like, I don't know, Randy. I'm like, yeah, he's 17. And I'm like, dude, it's like, let's just give him a chance. It's like if he sucks, just pull him off.
Right.
Like, let him run a camera. He says he's doing video and stuff. And I actually talked to him, and he knows the TriCaster system, like our, the system
That's
that
so
we're
awesome.
using. So Kyle was still like, I don't know, man. This is not going to go
Which
well.
I only know
sell.
the name TriCaster system. I don't know the TriCaster system. So
Yeah.
So here's
I don't either.
Here's a fun fact for you. My new gig that I'm doing as a TV studio teacher at our local elementary school, we use TriCaster as
There
well.
you go.
So I might need to hit you
Set
up.
it right here.
Yeah.
We're gonna be bringing Matt in.
Let's
We're gonna
go.
need
Let's
some.
go.
We're gonna need.
Awesome.
We need some new people at
Yeah.
Beer City. So
There you go. Boxcar.
he's coming in the trailer.
I'm coming. Let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
make it
awesome.
happen.
Yep. So anyway, so they said, we could use it for Columbus. So Foster and I go down there for the very first match. Foster just went in the trailer, kind of observed or whatever, and then, Randy was just kind of like, what the heck? Let's just throw him on a camera for the second match, see what happens.
Kyle,
and
come
then,
on, just let him. Just
And
let him
I don't
run a
think he
camera.
came off that camera the rest of the day.
that right?
So,
Oh my God! From the moment this 17-year-old went on the camera, so I actually do. For those of you that don't know, I'm the TD for all the in-house production at Boxcar. So I'm running all the cameras. I'm switching all the cameras. If there's a mess up, I'm human, totally
It's on
screwed
him.
up.
Yeah.
I was losing focus. I'm hearing all kinds of stuff in my ear. Again, that's why I'm strategically single, even though Kyle is straight. But Kyle is in my ear, and if I mess up, it's my fault. But I run all the cameras. I'm switching the guys, and I'm watching Foster's cameras, and I'm like, Kyle, this guy watches, like, this guy is not missing anything.
He gets it.
He is on point.
That's awesome.
And at that time, Justin, I love you to death, man. You're so we have two camera operators, Justin Dickerson and Matt Pace out of Louisville.
Yep.
We brought them on, and they are fantastic. And Justin is a great camera. So don't get me wrong when I say he's a great camera guy, but like Foster came in, and I'm like, this kid is like not missing anything. Like, we'll have a replay and we'll have this exciting point, and I'm looking up at the camera and I'm like, Foster, did you? Oh my God, he got that. He got that. Replay, camera five, whatever he is.
Yeah.
And so instantly from the get-go, Foster has just been absolutely spot on. And he doesn't say a word. You never hear from him all day. Like, he doesn't. Like, what more can you ask for?
I usually came by like, have you eaten yet? No.
No, it's okay.
Do you need me to get you some food?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe in a little bit.
Hey, Foster, you're going to be up in the scissor lift for like 7 hours. Is that okay? Like, well, let's get you down. Okay. What is that noise in the background? Beep, 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 beep. In Daytona, we got Foster stuck up. He actually got stuck.
Oh
yeah. So fast forward, they boxcar the Columbus event went so well, and then in 2023, boxcar's gotten the first 3 contracts of the year in Mesa, Arizona, Daytona Beach, Florida, and just recently San Clemente, California.
Yep.
And they'll be doing the rest of the year, but. Yeah, so they did add like a scissor lift in both Mesa and Daytona.
Not my choice.
And I know at one point in Daytona, the battery died on the scissor lift, so he was stuck in the up position for a while they charged the battery.
16 feet in the air. Foster's stuck. He can't get down.
Oh, my goodness.
And did we hear a complaint, a whimper at? Nope, not. You didn't hear a word out of Foster.
But Ryan, that's as a dad, that has to make you proud. I mean, that's so cool that he's been a great experience, and also knowing Foster a little bit, he's started to love pickleball more as a result of this, but it's not like he has this vast knowledge of pickleball that he knew what shots to get and what would be perfect. He's just sounds like kind of a natural.
Yeah, he's just kind of a natural, And like you mentioned, he has started taking a little more of an interest. In fact, those are some of the things he looks forward to when we've gone to some of these events, just playing the rec games with Justin and Matt and some of the other and Randy and some of the other guys on the crew. So
that's awesome.
And don't you get to? I mean, you've talked about warming up some pros. Like you kind of get to play with the pros sometimes, right?
A little bit. One of Foster's highlights to Rob Cassidy was there bright and early in Mesa when it was 40 degrees, and Rob, if you know him, just like total pickleball. He's a person of the people. He's not. He's gonna play with anybody and everybody, and he's just like looking to get warm before his match, like 2 hours before his match. Like, guys, you mind if I jump in? And I'm like, I'll step out. That way, you can play with Foster against Justin and Matt. And Foster just loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I will give a shout out. Rob Cassidy. He is a fantastic guy. He could be Captain America. He's got more scabs on his knees diving. One thing that's
a man after my own heart. Right
oh my gosh!
Is he still not to get into like the gossip side of things? Is he still with Michelle? Weren't they dating for a while?
Oh, they're still together. Yeah, they're
awesome.
still together.
Yeah, actually, at the last MLP, the announcers did have an over/under on the first time Rob hit the ground.
Yeah,
they did set an over/under. Yes, and it was early on. It was within like the first 5 points he was on the ground.
Love that guy.
That's awesome.
Love that guy.
Is that your new favorite player?
For sure. Yeah. What is with his pants that he always has the shorts that say like 22 on them or something like that? You know anything about that?
Oh yes. Dang, I'm gonna have to go back. He's from Rochester, New York. Derisi, and there's a whole like iconic pickleball family from Rochester, and I should have done research if I had known.
It's a random question. His name.
Yeah,
I've always wondered that.
Yeah, there is some nostalgia from Rob and Rochester, New York, and why he uses that 22. But he's a fantastic guy, and I love him on camera.
He could come on our show, and we can ask him that question.
Let's go. Maybe
actually, let's see if he answers right now. While you guys are talking, I'll text Rob.
I love it.
And see.
While he does that, then Ryan, tell me a little bit from your perspective. Like this next segment, I was going to call like "Spill the Tea." Have you seen anything? And maybe Randy will have a lot more insight. We'll see what he is willing to share. But what are some of the cool experiences that you've had being there? Besides, getting to warm up with some of the pros and just be around there.
In Columbus, I did get to hit with Pablo Tejas for like 3 to 5 minutes, just because somebody else I think it was Julie Johnson, was getting ready and they didn't have a fourth, so I just kind of lucked out into that one. In the most recent one in San Clemente, basically was close enough to hear a lot of Matt Wright and Hayden Patchquin's exchange that warranted the blue card from Hayden with some not so PG language, and just especially most of the time I'm on the grandstand, Foster's on the center court, so it's a little more intimate and closer to the action, so you do hear some of the conversations and even just the coaching points, because each team does have a coach, or even the partners between points who they might shield their mouth with a paddle, but they're saying, hey,
Yeah.
let's return to so-and-so and just quick little, so just
Yeah.
being an X's and O's kind of person, I'd
Absolutely.
really eat up a lot of that
Oh, man,
stuff.
that'd be so cool.
I feel like that also speaks, though, to the accessibility still of pickleball, still of the pros. I mean, that's probably going to change. I don't know if it will, but you just don't have any other sport that
Where you can get that
where
close
the
and-
amateurs can rub elbows with the pros at such a
Yeah, and
spot.
and there's like numerous practice courts around in California, for instance. So a lot of times we were hitting, but if a pro or a pro team was wanting to hit, they usually asked us for permission if it was okay if they used our court. That they were real polite. And
Did you ever say no?
no, we were gonna say no. I mean, we were usually like starting to gather our stuff when they
Right,
walked up because we were
right.
like, well, they're kind of playing for $60,000 in this year-end
Right.
thing, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get off the court. But they ask,
Well, yeah, we warmed up on a court next to Tyson McGuffin at the PPA Cincinnati event. Do you remember that?
How
do
many
remember
shirts
that.
did he go through in
Yeah.
warm-ups?
Exactly.
Well, it was raining that day.
The better question was he wearing a shirt?
Oh yeah, he probably wasn't wearing a
was.
shirt if it was warm-ups. Yeah.
Yeah, there's your. What does he have tattooed on his arm?
I do not know.
Well, it's actually because of his father, but his father's name is Randy.
Huh?
So
That's
yeah,
so
the
fun.
first one, in Dallas years ago. I'm like, oh my gosh, why do you have my name tattooed on your shoulder?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So as I'm watching you text Rob and then reach out, I think I'm seeing you scroll through. Did you text Michelle as well?
I did
Like-
because Michelle's way better at
Hilarious.
responding
Yeah.
than Rob might get back to me in like 3 days.
Right.
But anyway,
That's
yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
you're connected to so many. I'm sure you've got pretty much everybody's name in your phone. What are some? I'm not asking you to obviously divulge any secrets or anything, but what are some of the cool things that you've gotten to experience, or some things that maybe
Ooh.
the average listener wouldn't know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not about name dropping, but it's an appreciation. I mean, I started in this with Sarah Ansberry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up watching her, and then accidentally met her in Austin as she was traveling through. I ended up spending about a year traveling in my truck, but Sarah would let me stay in her RV.
Really?
Yeah. So Sarah and her wife at the time, they would just let me they had a toy hauler, so they were at one end, I was at the other, and she was gracious enough to let me stay, and then you get the next morning, hey, we're going to be on the courts, we're going to Tyson was going to be playing. I remember the first time I met Tyson, it's like, wait, what? Yeah. And so like,
What?
why are you asking me? Like,
Yeah.
and so we were I'm trying to think of where we were. But we show up at the courts, and she's like, yeah, meet us on the courts. We're going to play with Tyson. I'm like, all right. So I go and I sit on the bench, and then they walk in, and I'm just sitting there like drooling all over myself like Cliff from Cheers. And they sit down next to me, and it's Lucy Kovlova and Christine McGrath like sit down, and I'm like, what on earth is going on here? Like, and then they're like, yeah, you ready to play? And swear to God, Lucy just takes, and she had a sports bra on, but she just like takes off her top. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. Like, what just
That's
happened?
why you're single.
Like, girls, I said, can I get a selfie with you guys? There is a selfie that exists.
That's
And
funny.
Lucy and Christine are in the back. But I mean, you get to, I mean, yeah, it was just, it was just a fun experience. And, there's people I truly appreciate. Tyson is an absolute, person of the people.
Yeah.
He's very engaging. He may not respond for 3 weeks, and that's great,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I still will always give a shout out to Ben Johns because, I mean, he truly is number one in the game. And years ago, I only got to meet him because of Christine McGrath. So at that, yeah, let's not go into any of that. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is Ben Johns is awesome. No, so we're in a house. Watching Kyle Yates and Ben Johns play ping pong with spoons, with actual like spaghetti spoons.
What? What? That's amazing.
So Kyle Yates is that good.
Wow.
Ben Johns is that much better. But
Unreal.
they're playing ping pong with these little wooden spoons. We're in Christine McGrath's house. And, so ever since that day, this is one thing that I truly, truly respect, because he doesn't have to. Like if I'll text Ben and I'll say, hey, there's this 7-year-old girl that's like, truly in love with you. Would you do like a birthday, would you just like do a video and say happy birthday? And he's like, yeah. Like that day, he's like, well, I'm a little busy. I'll get to it in the morning, So he'll but he will like actually respond like,
that's crazy.
Dude, you don't have to do that,
What if she's 42? Just asking.
She's 42?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for, I don't know. I think he would. If I asked him and I said that she is truly in love. The answer to that question
December
is yes.
23rd.
Yeah.
Sorry, I spaced out there for a minute.
She would. Okay. Yeah, he would.
Were we talking Ben or were we talking?
Kyle. He's talking
No,
Ben.
Ben Johns.
Ben,
Ben
okay.
Johns.
Yeah.
Ben Johns.
All right.
Yeah, no.
I was going to say, I don't know who's more
absolutely-
dangerous in that scenario, Ben or Tyson, because she has a little crush on Tyson.
Yeah. Oh, you have a crush on who?
Maybe Tyson.
Tyson McGuffin?
I don't know.
Is it because he has a tattoo named Randy?
It is. That's exactly why.
Yeah, probably not.
And his
But-
hair.
And
it's
there's no way you have a crush on the hair.
She likes them dirty, like neck tattoos and dirty hair.
Yeah.
Oh, dirty girl.
I know.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know. It's
I
my
can't
past. It's my
stop.
past. I
Mind
guess.
scrub. Mind scrub. Yeah. So, yeah, there's plenty of dirt. We won't talk about who the actual person is behind memes of pickleball.
I thought we knew.
You do? I guarantee
No.
you don't.
I thought that was a.
No,
You
I
know?
bet-
No,
I
I
know.
thought I did though. I
You're-
thought it was that Maurice guy.
No, Maurice the Grease. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Or who drinks alcohol before their matches just to calm down. Yeah. No, we won't talk about any of that.
Interesting. Yeah.
But-
But I'm sure you probably could literally write a book.
Well, yeah, I don't know who would read it, but I mean, no. Yeah. I mean, there's, again, going back, pickleball is bringing all kinds of flavors to, the world that we know and the world that we live in, but it still is just, it connects on the most amazing level, things and people all over the world. I mean, it's a neutral connector that gives people something to actually attach to and kind of disengage from all the the BS. So
I want to kind of expound on that here in a minute, but I want to take another break real quick. But let's come back. We're going to wrap this up. We are over an hour now, and typically we might set a new record with Randy. But this has been amazing.
It's gone
that's
fast.
a good thing.
So
He
I do
needs
want
to
to
talk
cover
about his.
we want to talk about the international component there, and then we do have a game. Anytime we have a guest, we're going to have a game, and it may take a little longer than we typically do. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we will wrap things up.
Are you new to the game of pickleball and looking to learn the basics? Or maybe you're an experienced player who wants to take your game to the next level? Both Matt and I would love to help.
That's right, Abby. We are both Level 2 IPT-PA certified instructors and would love working with you, either giving you private lessons, group lessons, or hosting a clinic. We also offer unique video coaching utilizing the latest in drone technology. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok by searching Hoosier Pickleball, or email us at hoosierpickleball@gmail.com. Also, check out the show notes for all the links to our social channels. All right, welcome back to One More Game. We are here with Randy Coleman and Ryan Keirns. Randy, right before the break, you started to just kind of talk about internationally the game of pickleball, and you just got back from a 3-month journey to the other side of the world. Talk about the growth of pickleball, because it primarily has been exploding here in the United States, but we're starting to see that change a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all over the world. Right now there's a huge push in Australia. There's a great paddle, actually, that's pretty popular, but Australia loves pickleball. They've been playing it in England and Spain since I've been in pickleball. Back in 2017, I went to a Bainbridge Cup in Germany. Back in 2018, and when you've got 1,000 people and you're in Essen, Germany, and you're just playing with this sport with common ground of some people you can't even communicate with.
That's amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
it's totally mind-blowing, you know. So there is growth happening all over the world. I absolutely love if you've seen my social media posts, I absolutely love Asia. You know, Japan, there's probably 3,000 players playing in various parts of Japan. There's private courts, you know, popping up. There's leagues all over. It all is happening indoors mostly. Private courts are being built outdoors, dedicated, like real, you know, beautiful courts outdoor. They're very
amazing.
small, but in Thailand, there's three different, so Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Phuket. I would say there's 3 different places now to play in Phuket.
You have to be careful pronouncing that
Because
I
it
did-
is
based
not.
on how it's spelled.
I did not know that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Phuket is Phuket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
PH is not the F sound.
It's
No.
not the F sound. Yeah, Bangkok.
I had to Google that.
They just built. There's 4 courts now that are covered. They're playing in Bangkok, so there's 4 different places to play in Bangkok. There's 1, 2, 3 different places to play in Chiang Mai.
It's unreal.
Yeah, so I mean the explosion of pickleball around the world. They absolutely love it, and you have this common ground of regardless of if you can, you know, speak the language or not. You know, you have this, beautiful.
So cool.
You can
Yeah.
get on the court and just play. Yes, I've learned how to say, I want a beer with ice in Thailand. You know, which is Pom Ya Beer Leo, Quad Nam Kang. So Nam Kang is ice. It's extremely hot in Thailand.
Yeah.
So one thing you have to
You
get
don't
used
want
to.
warm beer.
You don't want.
You don't want warm beer. Well, unless you're in England, maybe. But Nam Kang is ice. So in Thailand, and you know, you just have to learn how to say certain words. So luckily, beer is beer. So beer, and then sing. You know, they have 3 different beers, but yeah, you
the
say certain words,
Yeah, it's
but
the important stuff, right?
yeah, the important stuff you gotta, and they all do. So one thing I love to do everywhere we go is as soon as we finish, like we're gonna do now, and we're gonna do later, we're gonna go play pickleball, and then what do we do afterwards? Hey, where are we all gonna go? And it's not just about drinking beer. It's about
the social aspect.
which is what pickleball is.
And we'll talk about our points, and we'll talk about the games. We have.
And so pickleball is a social sport. It
100%.
creates amazing things, and it's happening all over the world, which is absolutely stunning, which
That's really cool.
we could talk about another time.
So just quick answer then. What's your prediction? How long until it's an Olympic sport?
Oh, you know, we've talked about that for a few years. So you have to have 70 countries.
Yeah.
So I'm a part of the international, or I was. I left because of a president, but you have to have a governing body.
Mm-hmm.
So we have USA Pickleball, but that's only here in the United States. So you have to have an international governing body, and everybody's kind of at war right now. They all want to be the guy.
Really?
So to
Kind
answer
of like
your
the
question,
PPA and APP.
it is. Yeah, the APP started the first pro tour. The PPA came in, and you know, now we've got that whole thing going on. You know, and they both have pros and cons, but to see a sport, you have to have the committee. So you have to have the Olympic Committee actually come in and even have it be an exhibition sport. So first you have to have it be qualified to be an exhibition sport. You have to have 70 countries playing
Wow.
actively before it can even
So
be
you're saying
considered.
it's going to be a while.
Well, I mean, Steve Kuhn.
with LA being an upcoming host, that would maybe be a ticket to an exhibition sport.
Still have
because
to get to
because
70 first.
because I believe the host country does have some
say
in the exhibition sport.
What I see happening is something strange, like how all of a sudden did this happen? How all of a sudden do we have pickleball in the Olympics?
Yeah.
When you have these specific rules by supposed to be committees and all this stuff. I would love to see that. You know, we have curling. I love watching curling during certain events.
I do too.
You know, rhythmic gymnastics, actually. is a
That's
fun
Matt's
thing.
favorite.
I was with you on curling.
Yeah.
You don't like it, rhythmic gym?
He used to be
I'm gonna watch curling with you,
There
and
is
I'm
a
gonna
story.
watch rhythmic gymnastics with you.
Matt used to have a stick with a ribbon on it. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh.
But when is that gonna happen? I mean, we used to say that it was gonna be 12 years.
Yeah.
It's it could possibly happen just because of the explosion of so many A-listers and other stuff, and then people with deep pockets right now. I'm
and there's
not real
obviously
sure, but
politics because at one
there's
point
huge
baseball
politics
wasn't
involved.
an Olympic sport, and like
All of a
at
sudden.
least in America, like baseball's one of the
Yeah.
5 major sports.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I mean, as soon as we get, so I went to China, and I know I got to wrap up real quick, but I went to China in 2018, and if they could actually get Beijing on board, because I was down in Shenzhen promoting with USA Pickleball and Pickleball Trips, but if once you get the way Asia works, once you get the government supporting that, like the best players in pickleball right now internationally are from Taiwan.
Really?
So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I will tell you that for a fact. There are 5-0 tennis players that are playing pickleball. There are 5-0 pickleball players. If they come over here, are they going to get beat? Yes, because everybody's good here now, right? But there are fantastic pickleball players in Taiwan. The best pickleball players in Asia are there. But once you get the government support of things like that, that's when the unlimited funding takes place, and they actually mandate things. So it's not a choice. So once China government, so you got to get Beijing behind things.
Yeah.
They mandate that this will be a curriculum in the schools. This will be this. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And they will absolutely beat us in many ways. But we're going to be so far ahead of the game. But it could be a while. But it might happen quicker because of other.
So interesting.
Yeah, but
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this
mind
up.
blowing.
But before we wrap it up, we always like to play a game with our guests. Now, this is the first
Is
time
it a drinking game? Does it involve craft beer? Because I really like craft beer. Have I mentioned?
This time, though, since we have 2 guests, we're going to involve us as well. And
We're a team.
yeah, well, we're all on our own team. So we used to do this a lot in college. I love playing drafting games. So we're going to do a draft. Okay. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to draft a 2-person team. I'm going to give 3 different categories. We'll do one at a time. And we're going to go snake draft. So if you have the first pick, then you're also going to have the very last pick. If you have the 4th pick, you're going to get that turnaround. So you have the 4 or 5. So first category is going to be you are drafting the best team that you can for a game that is for your life. You're having 2 people that are going to play. So we will take. Do you want first pick? We'll give you your choice.
Of any player that's out
No.
there?
So what position?
What pick do you want?
Do you want
1 through 4.
I'm going to go. I'll go 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
What position do you want?
I'll take 1.
Okay. You're taking 1. You're taking 2.
I'm
3.
just
I'll
being
take 3.
Okay. So
No, I'll take 4.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's smart. You got the
Thank you.
wraparound now.
Thank
so
you.
Ryan, first pick. Who you taking?
We're talking a game of pickleball for my life.
Your life depends on it. So you're
Dang
trying
it.
to.
I need this.
I don't know why you didn't take the 1 pick.
Well, I would because I always.
I'm taking Ben Johns,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
and I'll keep it short. But in the next MLP, there was discussion. Anna Lee was the #1 pick of the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the way to go.
Ben's a cheat code, despite their loss to
Yeah.
LA Mad Drops.
I actually put out a post a few years ago. I made a meme and I said, "Always be Batman, unless you can be Ben Johns, and then always be Ben Johns."
Are you the meme guy?
No, I'm not the meme
There it
guy.
is.
I know who the meme guy is, but or person or persons.
Ooh.
Oh, it's
whatever.
a guy.
But yeah, no,
Uh,
Ben Johns is the instant
Okay.
pick.
All right,
So
that's
he's
my
1.
pick.
So who's
That's my
who's
pick.
number 2 then?
Ooh.
I love camera action. So regardless of the flavor, I still love the excitement on the camera. And I'm gonna go with Riley Newman.
Okay.
Yep.
That's who I was going to pick.
That's what I
So
was gonna pick. That'd be a good one.
Sucks to
mine
be
now.
you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Man, so number 3, who am I going with? Well, I'm going to, since this is my game, my rules, I'm going to say that we have like a few months to prepare for this. So I'll take Jack Sock and bank on maybe him
Ooh.
improving even more by the time I play this game
Okay.
for my life. So I got Jack at 3. maybe off the board a little
I'm
bit.
going to take Anna Lee. We can pick girls, right? I get Anna Lee.
Well, you can.
You can.
We didn't say this was mixed, though.
You can.
Oh, well, what is it?
It's
just
it's
just the team,
Pick
the
two
world
people.
team.
I'm taking
Pick two.
Anna Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
And then I get
good
the
news
next
is
one,
you get
too.
another. You get
You're,
the next
you're
pick
such,
too.
I
such
sure
a
do.
feminist.
You gonna go with Catherine
Did somebody pick JW?
or Anna Bright?
Are you
Who
going to
picked-
take two girls?
Did somebody pick JW?
No.
That's my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
that.
Annalee and JW.
I mean, it's all I got left, guys.
Yeah.
Is it?
So
That's
I mean, that's
Yeah.
if we were getting mixed teams, I think you'd be in decent shape,
Yeah.
but we're not, so you're going to get smoked by.
that's
by
all right.
us. You know, Ryan, you mentioned something the other day. We were talking just about how well Tardio's playing, so I'm taking Tardio.
Oh wow.
I've got a very unique team. I'm probably going to die.
That's
all
good. You're gonna be. Team,
You're gonna die
You're gonna be
'cause-
team speed
Yeah.
up.
Yep,
be
exactly.
team speed up.
exactly.
I love Team Tardio. They moved from Miami to Jupiter, Florida, one of my old hometowns.
Nice, very nice.
Jupiter, Florida. Yeah. And he didn't. So you know the shot. So you love his shot that he
Uh-huh.
does, the
Yeah, yeah.
inside out
Oh
thing.
yeah, love it.
Who did that first?
Kyle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kyle Slink.
Yates.
I mean
Kyle
Kyle
Yates.
Slinko. Kyle Yates.
Yeah.
Kyle Yates
That
actually
is
created
the
that
Yates.
shot.
the
The
Yates,
Kyle.
yeah.
But Gabriel Tardio perfected it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Ernie,
Mhm.
and that's another story.
Interesting. We'll have to save it for
but-
the
Leave you
next one.
hanging for next time.
Yeah.
All right, so who you pairing with Riley?
Well, I mean,
That's a good relevant question right now.
Right now,
Right
yeah,
now.
that's
Who are you
a
playing with
relevant
Riley?
question.
AJ.
He's got AJ.
No,
he's
no.
got. He's got
I mean,
Jillian,
I
he's
love
got Jillian
AJ.
for a couple
I
tournaments.
played singles with AJ in Vegas when nobody knew who he was, and I played him, and I'm like, man, you're pretty good. I think, yeah. So I do. I love AJ to death. And Thomas Wilson actually is creatively hardest overhead in the game, probably. Andiamo is spectacular to watch, a little bit uncontrollable emotionally, depending on who he's playing against. So that is a very considerable option with Andiamo. I'm going to say, and then you got Andre Deshku, who is like, he is rock solid. You know, I'm going to go weird because Andre
like weird.
is, I'm going to go weird. I did just come back from Thailand.
There you go.
I didn't do that. I don't know what you're thinking, but I didn't do that. But
you did.
I'm gonna go with my boy. I'm gonna say Andre Deshku. Deshku.
All right.
Yeah, he's
like
he's a fantastic, funny human, by the way.
Love
So,
it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, who's going with Ben?
It's actually a tough choice. I thought I had my pick, but
You're gonna go Colin.
Why don't you
no,
go Colin?
I that's who I'm probably gonna go. But the fact you left, I like Dylan Frazier.
Yeah.
I just don't know, and I love he and JW are boys and they play together, and but I'm probably gonna go with the safe pick, which is if you're playing with Ben,
You gotta have
just
Colin.
got to be Colin.
If you're
Yeah.
playing with
And you're-
Ben, you're still on the
you're-
medal stand.
That
Yep,
makes sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
your job's
So-
just to be Colin.
I
Quick-
feel like you lived and the rest of us died. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think
No,
I think
I'm right there. I'm taking a game.
as soon as you gave up the number one pick, that was your death sentence.
No, but that's okay because
As soon
I'm
as I took
here
a
to
girl.
give.
Right.
I'm a people
You were
person.
dead.
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't have Ben, I would have probably gone Dylan. If I'd had anybody, even Riley or given what's left, I would have gone Dylan because then that's
Yeah.
like, well. But if I'm Ben, I got to give him 2/3, 3/4 of the court, and
Right.
Colin does his thing.
Okay, so just a question, kind of following up on that. What? I totally lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Yeah,
With,
I'm gonna blame it on the fat tire.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe we'll move on.
No, I know what it was. MLP. Ben did not take Colin when he had the chance
Correct.
to. Does he change his mind next time if that happens?
I don't know. I don't think so. He took him because
He had-
in his mind, Tyler's a better mixed player, so
Yep.
there's the mixed component to it.
And singles, right? Was it also?
Well,
singles?
there's singles, but I'll tell you what. Colin doesn't play singles events.
But he could.
Colin messes around and hits with his left hand sometimes,
Yeah.
and he can hit a forehand left-handed.
Well, he was a
And
better tennis player than
He was a
Ben,
better
right?
tennis
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
I mean, Colin, I think, kind of fell on his sword, and
Yeah.
he was programmed to be Ben's right side
Absolutely.
player.
Absolutely.
I think if Colin decided at an earlier stage and said, you know what, I want to shoot for being number one, he'd be considered probably top three if he
Yeah.
found the right combo. And that's how he trained.
So Ben, does he do that again next time, or does he take Colin? Since it didn't really work out in the end, right? I mean, it did.
Well, I mean, the year end. I mean, there was one match in the end that they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they won the last 2 MLPs. They didn't beat the Mad Drops in a winner take all.
And was it the women?
scenario,
Was
so-
it the men?
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
I
was sitting with allll when she asked Ben, like, did I make the right choice in Mesa when I paired myself up against Tyson? So you have to remember Ben is an engineer, right?
Yeah.
So engineer by trade, and he's extremely analytical. So everything is a game. And as far as strategy, he's a chess player.
Yeah.
He'll sit with you and he'll show you 5 quarters, and he'll say, in 2 moves, make this happen. So he kind of knows the ins and outs. Is it always going to play out? I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
Because even in money, when we're wagering money and what's rising and what's falling, a lot of you can have the right strategy, but sometimes it just doesn't play out. But most of the time,
Chances of
you're
peace,
gonna
yeah.
put
To
your
answer
money
your
on
question-
Ben.
Yeah, to answer your question, I don't think he does, because if you listen to the Twitter and whatever else, there's 5 to 7 names of guys who are supposedly premier next year, but yet not many people offer up 5 to 7 guys who got to go the other way, because it's, as Jim Claus says, it's a zero-sum scenario. You can't just say, hey, Pablo, Alshon, Connor, all these guys need to go up. Well, you got to give me 3 guys that are going down, because
Right. Yeah.
All right, we're going to play one more round, but this has to be rapid fire. So we are actually at the Allen County Public Library, and in 8 minutes it closes. So we
Sweet.
might have somebody actually come in and interrupt
That's
us.
awesome.
which would be
We're closing the
hilarious.
place down.
We're closing the-
Cheers to closing the place
Cheers.
down. That's what I'm
Closing
talking.
the library down.
Where's
Closing the library.
Slamming
down. Yeah,
over
love
there.
it. So,
right, rapid
so here's
fire.
here's the next one. This is rapid fire. No commentary. Just say a name. That's it. And we'll give you your choice, what pick you want. We are going for best looking team. Best looking team.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with my girlfriend Paris Todd. We've been
She's a
seeing,
hottie.
We've been seeing each other for 6 months. She doesn't know it.
She doesn't.
But no,
Okay.
no.
Congratulations.
Okay, so
She's going to be
was that
so
my
excited
pick?
when she
She's
finds
like
out.
the Megan
So
Fox of
you're taking number 1 and you're picking Paris then.
For looks.
Yeah, we're just going
just
straight
looks.
Yeah.
I'm very fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan, you got 2?
I don't know. I'll take the 4th pick.
You're taking 4. Okay.
No,
I don't know.
Abby, you want 2 or 3?
I want 2.
Okay, who you got?
I got Tyson's wife.
What? Megan? That's awesome. That's hilarious.
does that count-
Why did you spit your
Does that count as 1 or 2 picks?
That's 2 picks.
That's 2 picks.
Listen, she's got things other people don't.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's
what,
two-
like Tyson? And what else? Yeah, things.
yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
Pick 2.
Yeah.
I picked 2.
All right.
I picked
Great.
her.
No, it's she's awesome.
All right,
Yeah,
so
it's
you're
great.
taking Tyson's wife?
Tyson's wife.
Okay.
Wow. I'm going to go Corinne Carr. I'm a big fan. I just think she's a cutie.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
my-
Dude, nobody's picking Callie?
He's 4. He's,
No,
She's a hottie.
No, I don't.
I know who
no.
you have one you've mentioned before that you think is a cutie.
Irina.
Oh, really?
Do you remember?
I don't know. I think Lucy's pretty good looking.
Okay.
I'd
Yeah.
probably go Lucy.
You
I
got
guess I
Lu-
got to pick another one
Yeah,
because
you
I'm
got
4.
Lucy and
Oh.
it was Vivian David you said before. You thought it was just a
No.
cutie. Wasn't it?
Marcus Woodhouse.
Oh, that was Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Marcus's girl. My bad.
All right, I'm gonna go somebody more because of her personality.
That's not what
Okay.
this is about, Ryan.
I'm gonna go Leia because
Oh, I like
she
it.
doesn't.
Oh, she's
she
a
doesn't-
cutie.
she doesn't-
Personality
she
can
doesn't
make
It
a
does.
person.
You're right.
Yeah,
She
She's a
doesn't care.
cutie.
She just
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
cute.
The only pro I've ever hit around with or played with was Michelle Esquivel. So I will
It's a
take
wise
her.
choice. She's a very great lady.
I think she's very cute too. I'll take her as my second.
Oh, as your second. So we're going on looks here.
Yeah, pure look.
Oh, Randy, you didn't pick Paris Todd because of her looks.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay, so here I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you an Instagram.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't because of her smarts that she didn't get into PPA and MLP this year.
It doesn't matter. She is who she is.
Wait,
she
not
can,
your-
she
okay,
can
I'm
wait,
be
gonna
who
go.
she is.
Well, I'm gonna go
I'm-
Tyson now. I'm gonna go Tyson and his wife.
Wow.
That's my team.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna win.
I've got questions.
You,
just won.
you may not even know who this is, and it doesn't matter that I don't care if she's a pro or if she's not a pro. But her name is Dominique Schaefer.
Okay.
So,
Pro.
huh?
She's a pro.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. She can
Pro.
be what she wants to be. Look her up. I'm just saying,
Okay.
Instagram, look up Dominique Schaefer. You're going to be like, what on earth?
So you got her in Paris.
Yeah, I
Okay.
win.
And you win.
I
Okay.
won.
You
Yeah.
win. Okay.
I
You
think
guys instantly lost.
Yeah. Oh, I
So-
forgot I was going to take Abby because we didn't really say pros. I was going to score some points. Dang it.
what was Dominique's last name?
Schaefer.
SCHAFFER, maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah.
dang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm pretty
yeah,
good at
your
spelling.
team's
Wait,
just lost.
I pick her.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. She likes Instagram.
One more.
Yeah.
Let me see.
All right.
Will you show your husband? Hey,
Yeah.
She looks like Paris Todd, kind of. I feel
Uh,
like.
yeah, you kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a team.
Twins.
Anyway, yeah.
Twins.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
So-
Abby's team name.
I do want to give one shout out. I
Yes.
do appreciate you guys. Fantastic. So thanks so much. It's I love just getting together and chatting. There are a lot of relevant things that we can actually chat about.
Yeah.
I would love to get into it more. I truly
So
appreciate.
next time you're in Fort Wayne, we do this
like
again?
tomorrow. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jigsaw Health. You have season 2 of The Orchard. You've seen the Arizona Pickleball League.
Yeah.
It's happening. So season 2 is happening in September. They're taking 5-0 applications at ArizonaPBL.com.
Okay.
New Belgium is absolutely fantastic. Daniel Moore is so fun, the opportunity and traveling and promoting internationally, and Gamma Pickleball allows me to do what I do.
Awesome.
So it's because of all of you guys that I get to have fun. Matt, you're fantastic.
was fun.
Love what you guys are doing.
Yep. Excited
Abby,
to go
thanks
play.
for the contact. Ryan, love you to death. I love your craft beer. We have 3 minutes to get out of here.
That's right.
We don't really. I mean, we can let them come in.
Yeah, let's see what
They
happens.
need
work,
an
they work
escort.
at the library. What are they going to do?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Easy.
We could
We
beat them
love-
up is all I'm saying.
We love everybody.
We
at the library.
do. I'm just saying we could take them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Turn into a fight. How much of that mom water? You didn't even drink any mom
But I
water.
drink one of
Oh,
these.
yeah.
I thought it was
Okay.
called.
It's a fat time.
What did I call it?
Mom juice.
Mom juice.
Mommy juice.
Mommy juice.
Okay.
Very similar.
All right. Hey, this is great. Thanks again. Thank you all to our listeners, as always, for listening to One More Game. We'll see you next week. We want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number 1 More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.